How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. And we're getting our tossed salad and scrambled eggs on today's Massive Beer Review in the form of Born in the Catskills Faith American Ale. Why the fuck are you quoting Frasier? One, because I like Frasier. Two, that's the only whole reason I got this beer. This is actually a beer that has something to do with Kelsey Grammer. He has a farm up in the Catskills of New York, and he's opening a brewery. It's actually been a long time coming. I believe I started seeing like articles about it in like 2016, 17, so it's been a couple of years. And this finally hit the shelves. Now, this isn't being produced on his farm. It's being contracted. I don't know where, but they finally put out a beer, as you can see on the can here. You know, it's big Catskills, but you can see a good old Kelsey Grammer down there with what I assume is one of his kids. So, you know, I'm a Frasier guy. I actually really enjoy the show. And when he said he was coming out with a brewery, I was kind of like, okay, I gotta try this. And yeah, I was down at Flemington, New Jersey. He actually had this, and I saw it on like the beer menus thing or whatever it was. And I was like, oh, I gotta pick it up just to try it. So that's what we're gonna do. So what else does it say on here? It says, Faith America is inspired by these mountains and the countless days of recreation and comfort they have given us, my family, and I invite you to enjoy this beer. Kelsey Grammer. The brewery is it says Clifton Park, New York. Brewed by Faith American Brew Company, Clifton Park, New York. I think Clifton Park is where Schmaltz used to be. That might be where they're kind of contracting at, but I think that's single cut now. I don't know, but we're gonna give it a whirl. See what she's all about. A can art's kind of poopy, to be honest with you. I get it, wanting to put like, it's a pretty picture, and it's a pretty picture of him kind of trudging through the field of this kid, but it just doesn't really translate to a nice kind of design, especially in today's kind of cynical kind of beer art world. It just doesn't come off that way. What do we have here? You know, kind of looks like lager, pilsner, golden ale, something floating around there, soft carbonation, straw in color, pretty much dead clear, little soapy edges, not too big of a head. So she looks like beer. She looks like an ale, or maybe a lager. We don't know. Let's get a nose. Just sweet maltiness, and it's not like an overly sweet beer, but you get a sweet maltiness. I don't want to say it's like corn syrup sweet, but there's an added kind of sweetness to it. Not much is really a hop kind of component to it. It's more just sweet maltiness. That's pretty much it, you know. It's not a lager. I'm getting slight funky, not a lager vibes off, but it's not a lager. It's totally like a non-lager beer. It's just sweet maltiness with the ever so slightest bittering component to it. That's pretty much it. Really just not much to it whatsoever. So, yeah, let's dive in. Cheers. Yeah. Sweet, kind of almost like a mix between like a Pilsner, Crystal Malt kind of sweetness going on there. The ever so slightest bit of hop bitterness. It's not even like bitter. There's just, you know, there's a subtle bitterness to it because it's just not sweet on sweet on sweet. It's not a big beer to be, in the grand scheme of things to begin with. I think that's it. There's really not much to it. It just tastes like it tastes like a small brew pubby, you know, just open brewery's version of like a golden ale, like American golden ale. You know, to me, American golden ale and American wheat ales are almost like golden ale and wheat ale, just in general, like whether it be German wheat or whatever, light. It's like almost like a more kind of, I don't want to say dumber down version of that, but it tends to be a more flavor deficient. Oh, that's a nice way to say it. Kind of Americanized version of those kind of classic styles, and that's what you're kind of getting here. It's just soft, generic kind of golden ale, not much as far as any hop kind of presence, and you're left with nothing overtly negative. Maybe there's a slight bit of diacetyl, but it's very, very gentle, very subtle, and it's more so that the beer, there's not much as far as any kind of expression in the beer as far as flavor format, whether it be coming from a yeast phenolic to a malt to a hops to even a water, to where even the slightest bit of kind of negative is going to show up. So all in all, it's probably a really well done beer, but since there's really not much as far as flavor involved, even that subtle, and I mean very, very subtle, kind of diacetyl kind of vibe kind of jumping out there, is more kind of a knock against it not expressing itself in any form or fashion as opposed to it being a negatively made beer. So I would say it's actually probably a pretty well made beer, but uninspiring and just kind of towing the middle of the line. Some might be kind of find that funny or think that's an analogy for what Frasier was, but for some reason that show actually tickled me pink. I'm actually rewatching it. It's kind of the whole catalyst around this. I'm rewatching it with my wife. It's kind of like our background noise kind of comedy show we put on right now. And I was just watching it and I got like 5 episodes in. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't Kelsey open a brewery not too far away from here? So that's kind of the whole reason why I ended up picking this up. That's pretty much it. Yeah, there's no date in this can, so I really can't give it any kind of like, okay, it's old and that's why it is the way it is. But it's almost like it's a beer that's gonna fit the role of the kind of 30 rack kind of beers, but it lacks even that kind of subtle. What's the word I'm calling for it? Kind of what do they call when something's a tiny little town and has a little substance to it? I forget the name, the analogy I'm looking for, the adjective, for not quaint, but a little charm, just that subtle kind of old world charm to it. It just even lacks that. So again, not a negative beer, but just also just something positive about it. It's just kind of a beer for the sake of beer. It's generic. It's like, what if I went to like Orlando and went to Duff World or Simpsons World and had Duff? This is what I imagine Duff tastes like. Let's put it that way. And that it's not going to offend anybody, but at the same time, it's not going to inspire anybody at the same time. So, sorry, Kelsey. I really wanted to enjoy this sucker. Hopefully, other things come out of there, but yeah, just kind of meh. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better ales I've had as late? No. Vegan availability. I think it was $9 for a sixer, and you know. If you like what we like to say, if you like macro American adjunct lager, you're going to get a little bit more kind of sweet maltiness out of this, a little bit more kind of, I don't even want to say expression out of it because it's not really there, but it's just that but different, you know, and it's not negatively made, it's just nothing really to write home about. So there you go, another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a nice little, yeah. I want to say Frasier beer, but it's not. It's a Kelsey Grammer beer. It's an American, Faith American beer. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.